Good morning. Happy Monday to all of you. I recorded a video a few days ago, um, about 15 minutes long, and that is kind of like my average. If it's a longer video, it's going to be in between 15 and 20 minutes, and if it's shorter, then it's going to be less than 10. And I started uploading it, and anytime I do that from home, it just takes a lot of hours. Either my connection is really slow, or yeah, I mean, it's something to do with my connection, because when I do that at the office, and we have high speed, so it really does that in a few minutes. And then when it was like more than 50%, something happened to the upload, and it just um yeah, it just started again, like I had, like canceled the upload and was starting again, and I was like, oh shit. And then I let it start again, and after a few hours it was just like at, I don't know, 30%. And I was like, wait a minute, this is not right. And in fact, I did check in with myself if this was a sign that I wasn't meant to put that video up, and I did get a yes that it was. So I eventually, yeah, disengaged from the upload and decided not to upload it for whatever reason. Like, I'm not sure why I got that guidance, because there were I always feel very inspired when I make these videos. I always think that there is at least something within the message that is going to resonate or allow you to see things a little bit differently. But it was probably counterbalancing my own progress and advancement. So there is a little bit of a trend going on right now with regards to, well, the soulmate cycle and divine feminines and divine masculines and the original runner. And it's like readers are saying that, well, most of them are saying that there is someone entering your life. And I understand why they say that, because from a logical point of view, it does make more sense for it to be a new soulmate, right? Someone that is going to meet you where you're at after all the growth and all the progress you've made. And it made sense to me too. I mean, not only did it make sense, but I was kind of excited even at some point to have someone new step in that didn't have all of that baggage. But then there was something that really kept coming back as a thought, that God never gave up on me. And of course, neither did I. But almost like believing in me when I couldn't believe in myself, when I couldn't hold that vision of myself, of becoming even the person that I am now, which is less of an asshole than the person that I was. And, God or the universe, whatever you want to call it, it just didn't give up on me. It just knew that I was going to get here. And here isn't even where, like, I don't feel like, hey, I'm done. I probably did mention before that, oh, I really feel like I'm embodying the empress. And I do, because when I talk to people, I just get a sense that I've done so much work that I probably am somewhere in a leadership position, at least spiritually talking, not talking about other stuff. But because I have been really able and willing to work on myself so much for so many years. It practically started more than 10 years ago for me, with a terminal kind of illness, which luckily wasn't terminal. And but it started me asking myself a lot of questions, and if was I doing something wrong, was there a side of responsibility, or was I just victim of my genes, of my mentality, of my environment, that kind of stuff. And so already where I am now is in a different world compared to where I was when I started, and the universe never gave up on me. So I'm inclined to think that the reason why I've been receiving these messages is because now it's kind of my turn to not give up on someone. And we all know who I'm talking about. Um, I mean, the thing is, like, all that stuff about the Burger King and the faker McFakery or whatever, um, it's just really a wounded soul. So imagine that perhaps the universe knows that these two individuals share a soul blueprint that will allow them that once they come together, it will allow them to, once they come together in the right way as healed souls or people, maybe, I don't know, maybe the soul doesn't need healing, but as healed people, they can really have the most amazing relationship and be that dream person to the other. Like, almost like when I have my 5D visions of these two people who resemble us, but at the same time, they're not us, as much as I am not the same person I was 10 years ago. So I don't feel at any point that I'm ready, that I'm sorry. Not that I'm ready. I mean, not that I don't feel at any point that I'm done in my path, cuz yeah, there are lots of still loose ends to tie and bits to cut off, which I haven't done until now. But the fact of embodying this empress energy simply means that you have the knowing and wisdom in your heart that you can manage certain situations, manage breakup with grace, manage, leaving a career with grace. So nothing really as much changes or has changed for me on the outside, but it's just that knowledge that now I can take on whatever I need to take on without having to go into that wounded state, without becoming the Queen of Wands, without going in my ego and making such a fuss about it like I have done in the past. Like every time a difficult situation would arise, I would make a drama out of it. And then I would tell myself, oh, but you suffer from this mental illness, and that's probably why you don't have the resources. And then little by little, I understood that that's bullshit. Nobody has those kind of resources until they stay in a wounded state. And maybe those who appear to have the resources were never really wounded in the first place. And everyone, whether they're suffering from something that has been clinically diagnosed or not, they still have to go through the same pattern identification of the patterns, resolving what's triggering me. Can I release it? Can I integrate what needs to be integrated? Can I, you know, all of the spiritual work that I'm sure most of you know what I'm talking about. The breath work, the maybe yoga for some. I don't know, I'm not into that, but whatever helps, you know. So all I'm trying to say is that it would be easy to just say, and I was kind of inclined to say that, you know, this is a closed chapter, this is a closed book. This energy is still linked to my past. This energy is still wounded. It's still, if it comes towards me, it's still not going to come right. It's still going to be in its ego. It's still going to try to lie to me and make stories and whatever. And so when I finally heard the readers say, well, you know, it's time for a new person, a new emperor for the empress to show up, I was kind of like, yeah, I want a new person. I want a new soulmate. I don't want to continue reliving this, even if it's indirectly with someone who, for whatever reason, was just not able to meet me at the level that I'm at. But if God or the universe had done that to me, I wouldn't be here. And I'm not just saying this as a kind of like pageant, you know, oh yeah, I want peace in the world and the universe to love and support me. I actually felt in at the darkest times in my life that the universe that God was the only thing giving me hope, holding that torch. Sometimes even my own insanity. I don't know. I just knew that somehow, like, even if it seemed impossible at that point, because I was so wounded by everything in such toxicity and such low vibration, low self esteem, and low everything, that it's almost impossible to think that I got to where I am now. But I did, which is a miracle. And so I'm inclined to think that if a miracle happened with me, it can definitely happen with someone else. And the Empress, of course, you know, I've always loved the child Empress in the never ending story. And I think in my heart, I was always the Empress, because you need to have those qualities. But of course, life gets to you. Parents who neglect you, school kids who make fun of you, um, all sorts of stuff. And then you slowly, you know, work your way up through the four, well, in my case, as being a feminine, through the four queens. And because obviously the Empress does embody all of those queens, but it's a slippery slope. I mean, it's at any point, like, can she quickly revert back to the Queen of Wands? Yeah, she can go back into the ego or into a codependency of thinking, oh my God, if I lose this relationship, if I lose this money, this income, this salary, what am I going to do? Like, oh my God, I won't be able to feed myself or feed my children if you have them, or I won't be able to sustain or maintain the lifestyle that I've had so far. It's basically just a dog eat dog kind of, you know, like just going in circles. But the Empress is also portrayed as a compassionate, nourishing, figure. And like a motherly figure. And your mother is usually, unless she's obviously badly wounded herself, but if she's balanced and centered and loving, then she will be that support figure. She will be that one person holding the torch in your life to remember you that you are God's creation, that you are a spark of divinity, that you can have whatever you deserve. So maybe now it's our turn to hold the torch for someone else, for that original runner who's just really trying. And I know this with my heart, with all my heart. This energy is really trying to step it up, is really trying to match the empress, is really trying to move into the directions of the things he thinks she wants. So even the stuff that I'm hearing about proposals, oh yeah, he's gonna show up and he'll ask you to marry him and whatever. And when I was seeing that, I was thinking to myself that, well, dude, too little, too late. I mean, come on, seriously, like after 20 years, you wanna after 20 years you wanna ask me to marry you when we've been on and off for no, that's not that's not even that is so far from what I want. And yeah, of course, absolutely, 100%, if I tap into the energy of this person as he was even in his last interactions with me, yeah, it makes me want to puke. Yeah, it makes me want to throw up. It makes me want to run. Now I can become the runner and run from that as quickly as I can. Yeah, of course. You know, would you pick and eat fresh berries, or would you eat berries that are going rotten? I mean, of course, like everybody wants the new shiny thing, but we're talking people here. We're talking love between, of course, unconditional love can be given to anyone and should be, and firstly to ourselves. But even this romantic love, is it so easy to push back down and not feel it and not give its own dimension, just let it like settle like some kind of, I don't know, beer that you left there and okay, well, the thing is gone, it's time to check it out. I don't know, I'm not sure about that. I don't think that's how it works. I don't think that you can, if you really, really do love someone, I don't think you can just switch off your feelings like that and pretend that they're not there anymore and that you could easily move on to someone else. And I don't know. I mean, I did that. I did marry someone else and I did love someone else. Still do. But it's just hasn't been really as fulfilling as I thought it would be or hoped it would be. So I'm not saying ignore the red flags if you have them, if you had them. Like this person is still, even if they do show up, they haven't showed up for me, but if they do, then yeah, don't ignore the red flags. Follow your intuition. If your body is telling you no, then don't make it easy for them. All I'm saying is just don't give up on the whole baby in the bathwater simply because you would rather have new energy, a new person, and new experience because maybe this really could turn into everything you've wanted and hoped and dreamed about. Just maybe. Who knows? Yeah, so don't close entirely the back door just for yourself. You don't have to make a fast decision. Take whatever your time you deem necessary and just go with the flow of it. So I hope this was helpful. And let's see if this gets uploaded. Love you all. Bye.